All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are still in the process of retraining our subconscious minds. Yesterday or the other day, we went over lesson one. Lesson one was what do you want? Once you figured out what do you want, that was the WANT. Remember? Was it worth to with the activated aggression? Was the N necessity? And T were you teachable? After we figured out that, the lesson was write down some things that you wanted. So hopefully you wrote down the things that you wanted so that when we move on to lesson two, you can understand exactly what it is. Because it says now number two really just tells you to ask you a series of questions. And the question really is, do you really want it? Like, no, 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 seriously. Do you really want it? Because now you have to think about it. Your tribe matters. So the question would be, who is it that you have around you? And are those people around you going to make sure that they help you get what you want? Right. Because that's usually what happens. And now that's why we're talking about the retraining of our subconscious mind. Because when you really think about it, the people that have been around you because of the fact that they are good with where you are. So that says either they just don't believe that there's more for you, or they do believe that there's more for you and they know that they can't go with more with you, so they want to make sure that they keep you right where you are. um you might have people that push you really really hard because they want to see you achieve, they want to see you go far, so you have those types of people as well. So the question really is, what is it that you really want? Because you have to start to associate yourself with the people that kind of want the same things that you want, because you don't really want to be wanting to be the entrepreneur, but living with a spendaholic. So you're trying to save your money so that you can start your business, but yet everything that comes in is going out because it's going out and Amazon is delivering packages. So, you know what I mean? So the question really is, do you really want it? And have you set up yourself so that you can really have what you want? Because it's not up to you to control the people around you. It's actually up to you to control yourself. And then they actually would just pay attention to you. And if they can follow the lead of you, then of course they will come along too. But what you don't want to do is not do something that you know that you're supposed to be doing because you're with the wrong group of individuals that are not motivating you to do so. So there's a challenge that happens in the lesson that says that you're supposed to reflect on complete transparency, but only you can decide to your level of transparency. So you have to be honest about it. It says decide if you really want it, and then take your transparency to the online. No, not the online discussion because we're not online yet, but we will be online. And when you do, we'll be taking it there. But for right now, what I just want you to figure out and focus on is, do you really want it? And if you really do want it, how are you going to go about getting it? So then the next step, which would be like lesson three, would be, what are you thinking? How are you thinking about going to get it? Like, what are the steps? What do you need? Do you know the materials that you need in order to get it done? Or do you know the people that you're going to need to get it done? Do you have the materials that you need in order to get it done? Like, so you kind of have to do your research before any of it starts. But then you also want to ask the questions that kind of get you out of the way just in case you do run into the roadblock, because you're going to start running into the roadblock the minute that you start doing something. The reason why is because that's just the way that thing has to go. Because if that was the case, you would have never started. Right, because there's nothing to stop you. That's the whole point of what the enemy tries to do when you're really trying to do something that it is that you need to do or you really want to do. So once you really know that that is what you really want to do, then you start to ask those questions. What am I thinking about? Like when I thought about some stuff, I was just trying to figure out, like, why would I take so long to be like, okay, that's enough? You know, how is it that I can sit in a room with a 23-year-old that has gotten life together getting their financials and stuff in order. And I'm 43 and I don't have any of that. Why would I say something versus just letting them talk because they can you can hear something from it, right? But that's wrong. And I'm convicted only because, like I said, you're you look at yourself and you look at the failures that you have made. You look at your failures and then you think of them as if no, they're not failures. You've accomplished them. You've come to the other side. However, you don't push failures onto other people. And then once you've actually arrived, a lot of people don't even want to look back at their failures. Um, I'm realizing that until you actually go back and face those failures, it's really pointless. You're kind of like just going through motions. And, because the day that you run into what it is that you were running from, that's when you realize that you haven't learned anything, you didn't accomplish anything. All you did was run further and further away from it and kept yourself busy, motivated, just going the opposite way, thinking that you're never going to come in contact with that person or that issue or whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, life really doesn't work like that. We would like it to work like that, but life does not work like that. So stop clinging on to what other people are saying and thinking about you because it might not be exactly what it is that they need to be saying to you at that moment because change does not occur in the comfort zone. So understand that when you're talking to people and they're making you feel comfortable, they're really just setting you up so that you don't really do the move that you're talking about making. And that's simple. Now, I know somebody is out there right now thinking, don't say that because I'm really trying to make them comfortable. I want them to be comfortable as this, comfortable as that. But then you need to ask yourself truly, why are you trying to make the person comfortable? Are you trying to make the person comfortable so that they can actually be comfortable? Or are you trying to make the person comfortable so they can deter them from what it is that they really are being called to do? And that says that they're not going to be with you. Is that what's going on? So sometimes you have to watch it. You have to mind who you're with, and then you have to also understand that sometimes you want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to be sitting in the comfort zone, which means that you might have to change location, which means that you might have to find another crew. Like you might have to find another group of people to be with just so that you can have the same kind of conversation going in the same direction in the which manner of which way you're going. So it's really all comes into what are you thinking about? Stop being mediocre and do the work that it takes to manifest your dreams. Now, wait a minute. This was like for me. Why do you have to do half-ass stuff? Why would you have to just do the bare minimum to get by? When you've been blessed with the best. You've been blessed by the best to do the best for the best. When you look at it like that, you have no other way to come but correct. I was convicted because I was really just trying to figure out the best way to just do what I needed to do. Because as long as I was doing what I needed to do, when nobody was saying anything to me, I was fine. Everything was fine. And but do you understand that there's a bigger place in that needed to be for me? There's no mediocre in me. I don't have to be mediocre about anything that I do. you know and neither do you. So it's all about the way that we're thinking. So that's why this is all going into the retraining of our subconscious minds, because as long as we believe in our hearts that we don't really have a thought, we don't have a thought. If we believe in our hearts that it's something that we want to do but we can't, guess what we're not going to do? We're not going to do it. That is an unacceptable situation, and we shouldn't even want to be able to say that to ourselves. Like, so your thoughts are your thoughts, and your truth is your truth. So you should make it that way. Like, if you say no, say no. If you say yes, say yes, but give them a yes and say, yes, I mean it. Like, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm going to do it. Not no, I might, and then show up anyway. And then it's like no one can even know who you are. So your thoughts are your thoughts. If that's what you're going to do, that's it. Be aware of the criticism and praise. Watch what people do. Watch what people say. People are going to say things to you, and the reason why they're going to say things to you is really not. I have learned that it's not really to affect you, but it's almost to see exactly. God is trying to test to see exactly how far have you come in this plan. How far have you come from the work? Do you still get petty when they get petty? Like when someone throws shade, as you would say, Do you feel shade and then throw shade back? Or do you get your umbrella or whatever so you can block the shade? Um, or stay in the shade. I understand what I'm saying. Is like there's a moment in it where everything happens and it always happens. The difference is you're going to change your reaction. And when you begin to change your reaction, that's when you understand that some things become different because the, people are crazy. They're walking in and out. But what I'm seeing is walking in and out. People are just crazy. Child, please. Yeah. What are you thinking? Some people are thinking so so wrong or so out of the box that when they say something to you, they're not even really talking to you. They're like maybe even criticizing themselves, but they're saying it to you. You have to be aware of that because a lot of times people, what is it? Corrective corrective criticism. Is that what they say when they're trying to be nice or whatever? I like how my mentor says it. That's hogwash. It's not true. It doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, if that was the case, then just stop. It's not. You don't do it. Sometimes we get caught up in the praise of people. That's dangerous. Only reason why I say that is because a lot of the times when people are praising you, they're really just praising you to see exactly what it is that you're really about. And I mean, that's like when we were little, we used to always, well, I guess that's why they say train up a child in the way that they should go. Because that way when they get old, they won't depart. Because when we were little and we got finished singing solos and stuff like that, I was told one day to put my head down, not to receive my applause. And I was told to put my head down so that the applause could go to God. Because the God is the one who did just that. I just practiced and brought forth what it was that I was supposed to be, and then He met me the rest of the way. So when it came down to praise for me is a completely different praise. Now, living in 2021 and someone seeing me be praised and my reaction to the praise is completely different because now we're in 2021 and we don't have those kinds of we don't have humbling reactions. We have, oh yeah, that was me. I did it. Yeah, that was mine. So all within the retraining of our subconscious minds, we will be able to see exactly what it is that we've been called to see. We'll be able to know what it is that we want to do. We'll be able to say what it is that we want to do. We'll be around the right people that are going to help us, put us in the situation and the places that we need to be so that we can do what we want to do. We want to make sure that no matter what we do, we think about what it is that we want to do. We think about how we're going to do what we're going to do, and we think about who do we need. We think about the necessities. We think about what's important in the next step, and then we can move on from there. So you have really know what you want, and then do you really, really know that you really, really want it? And then you start asking the questions to make sure that you are set up in the right position to have the right people and the right places and everything situated for you to do the next. Once you've gotten those three, then you're almost ready to actually just start testing the waters. I would test the waters. Test it, test it, test it. Test the waters and test the waters. Until next time, have a good one.